Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and in this video, we are going to be diving into a champion guide about one of the newer legendaries in Raid, in Lady Kimi. We'll go over everything from some footage of her animations and talking about some interesting things that go on with her kit. We'll talk about the base stats, how I built her, what teams she would work best in, and get you all of the context, including the full breakdown of the grades for this new legendary. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so we're gonna find Lady Kimi by going down the index to the newest faction of the game, Shadowkin, and then the Magic Affinity support legendary right here is Lady Kimi. Now, you know the drill by now if you're around my channel, but down below in the pinned comment, I will have a link to the infographic right here where you can see the multipliers there, the 2.4 times 1 that scales with attack on the A1, and then the 4.2 times AoE on the only ability that she does in terms of dealing damage besides the A1. The other one does not do damage. And then the masteries that I've got on the Lady Kimi that you will see in this video. But do keep in mind, you're going to want to adjust the masteries based off of how you are building the champion in game. But that's a general breakdown, and that'll be down below if you want to pull that up and take a look. But now let's go ahead and first we'll start with the aesthetics. The main thing I noticed with Lady Kimi's aesthetic that jumped out to me was, like, I'm no shoe expert, but I don't know if these would be a recipe for success when trying to do well in battle. So definitely interesting, like, platform shoes going on there. But otherwise, she's just pretty rustic. The weapon is definitely cool. But yeah, nothing really jumped out to me besides, like, the weapon and the crazy platform shoes. For the base stats, now she does scale her damage with attack, and she has two different abilities that do damage. But we see the pretty good toughness stats for an attack champion, which means she's basically a support. She's got pretty good HP at 20.5k. The defense at 1.1k is pretty decent. The speed of 115 is amazing. It's one of the best speeds in the game. And then a decent in terms of 40 between resistance and accuracy on like for the base of those two. So I don't think building her as a damage dealer is going to be ideal, given the fact that her base stats are pretty tough, and then her base attack is really low. It's only 1,000, so it's going to be tough to scale her with attack gear. You're going to want champions that are usually like 13, 14, even 1,500. You can get a lot more value from attack percent rolls and scale better with those multipliers. Then in terms of the kit, we'll start with the A1. It's going to be attack one enemy, then attack the enemy with the highest turn meter, and we'll attack the same enemy twice if the initial target also has the highest turn meter. Now, this ability is kind of interesting in how it functions. I'll show you that here in a little bit with some footage that I've got recorded. Then the second hit has a 50% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 15%. So pretty good here. You've got opportunities like the Fire Knight, where you can get a multi-hitter in there, and also some turn meter reduction against bosses. So that's actually pretty decent for an A1 in a lot of different situations. And then the multiplier, remember, is going to be a 2.4 times the 1 or 2, depending on how many times it's going to hit on the enemy. And then we've got an AoE that can be booked to a 3-turn cooldown, and that is going to be a 75% that you can book up to 100 of placing decreased accuracy and decreased speed. Big versions of both. I love that. And then also on top of that, we're going to be able to book this to a 100% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 15%. That's actually pretty insane. Getting the AoE, accuracy, and speed break while also lowering all turn meters, and you can book it to a 3-turn cooldown. I definitely like the A2, and the multiplier on that is going to be a 4.2 times AoE. So really not that bad of a multiplier. It's not amazing, but it's not like trash or anything. It's just her base attack is so low, it's going to be hard to get that to hit super hard. Then for the A3, this one does not do any damage, but it does have a lot of utility. We're going to remove one random buff from each enemy, and then a 75% chance of placing a block buffs debuff for 2 turns on enemies that have a buff removed. That's obviously really good in like the arena, where all sorts of buff manipulation is definitely at a premium. AoE buff strip is amazing, and then not only that, but blocking buffs, blocking future buffs is also amazing. So you can do both of those in one ability. And then we're also going to fill the turn meter of all allies by 15% and increase their accuracy and speed for 2 turns, the big versions of both. So yeah, even though this A3 does not do any damage, it's not going to attack any enemies, there is a ton of utility going on there, and that's why we can't book that to a 3-turn cooldown. That one goes from 6 to 4, but even though it's a 4-turn cooldown, there is a lot of value in that ability. Then we've also got a passive right here. Whenever this champion places a debuff on an enemy, also decrease that enemy's turn meter by 5% for each debuff placed. Whenever this champion or an ally receives a debuff, fill their turn meter by 5%. So we've got more buff manipulation that we're going to be affecting turn meters based on buffs, both for the enemies and our own allies. We're going to be affecting turn meters in a positive way for our team. So definitely some awesome guaranteed value there in terms of passively getting turn meter value on a passive. Then we've got an aura here of increase ally speed in Doom Tower battles by 30%. So that's huge. So, and she's actually really good for Doom Tower. She's got lots of things here that are good for not only waves but boss fights in terms of affecting turn meter. The passive that helps with that, speed, 30% speed in Doom Tower battles is awesome. And then she's going to be decreasing speed, increasing speed, blocking buffs, increasing accuracy, decreasing accuracy. So lots of things going on for both the waves and the bosses. And then you couple that with the Doom Tower speed aura. She's definitely going to be a really good progression champ for the Doom Tower. But we'll get into her grades and all of the different ways I feel about her in different areas of the game. Now let's head on over to the Lady Kimi that I've got built on my account, and we'll dive into the build, the booking process, and the masteries. Okay, so here is the Lady Kimi I've got built right now on my account, and I haven't spent glyphs or anything yet. I'm waiting for the next clan versus clan to really optimize her gear a little bit better. This was kind of the introductory build that I went with her, but you can see here the choices of Relentless and Perception. Perception's a really good set on her. Speed and accuracy are paramount stats for her. I'm not going to be building her as a damage dealer. I think she's better served as a utility support because of all the different things she brings to the table. I don't want to also have to worry about all of that and then try to make her do decent damage based off the fact she has a pretty crappy base attack. So I'm just going to be building her as a utility support and helping her cycle through those turns. Remember that one ability has a 4-turn cooldown, so Relentless can be kind of cool. Get the extra turn. She does actually have a decent A1 in terms of affecting turn meter, so Relentless is not bad. Relentless, Reflex, Perception, lots of different ways you can go with the sets on Lady Kimi. And then if you're curious about the current total stats on mine, I'll let you look at that here for a little bit. It's not perfectly optimized yet. This was my introductory build of Lady Kimi, but for the banner, you're probably going to want to go accuracy almost all the time. A lot of her value is tied into debuffing enemies, decreasing turn meters, so you really want to make sure she has really high accuracy, especially if you're going to be using her in the arena or towards the later stages of hard Doom Tower type of content like that. She's gonna need good accuracy. So on the amulet, it's gonna be good to get at least like a double roll of accuracy, and really you can go with anything, like well, not anything, probably HP or defense. Unless you're building her as a damage dealer, which I wouldn't really recommend doing personally. I would go with HP or defense and your best blend of accuracy to go along besides that. And then the ring. Basically just get as much stat as you can get on this thing, and I wanted to make use of the shield that she can get after attacking, so I went with this. This was a good 6-star ring with an effect that I had lying around, so I went with that. It's not perfect. I would probably like to get a little bit more toughness out of this ring, but given the fact that it's a 6-star defense ring, which is great, and it's got lots of stats on it, and it's got that effect from the set ring, it was a good choice for the introductory build for her. Then as far as the artifacts, the boots are almost always going to be speed. She is a cycle through debuffer, high speed champion, so almost always the best choice going to be going with speed on the stat there. Now to couple with the ring and where I'm going to be using her in the game, like faction wars and stuff, I did go with the attack chest just to help me get a little bit more value out of the shield that she's going to do and make her hit at least decent. But honestly, you can go with either a defense or HP chest. I think would be most optimal. But in terms of working with the sets I was going to use with her and coupling with the ring, I did go with attack percent, but that's not usually going to be the best choice. Then you can see the gloves. I had to make it work with the Relentless set. I did go with this, and I thought it'd be fun to kind of see how she can hit, but do not copy that. Attack gloves are not going to be the route to go on Lady Kimi. Go with HP percent or defense percent 99% of the time. Top ones are pretty simple. Here we go. You're looking for your best blend of speed, toughness, and accuracy most of the time. And then if I pop up the total stats again, after seeing the gear, you can see I've only got her attack at 3420. And that's with having a ring with lots of attack on it, and attack percent on the gloves and the chest armor. So you can see that the base attack being so low makes it hard to get that attack up over 3,000. Like, even with all of that, I'm not able to get a lot of attack on her. So it does help me kind of prove the point to you that I do think the best route to build her is going to be mostly around toughness stats, speed, and accuracy, and really not trying to squeeze a whole lot of damage out of her. But for this video, it will be fun to see how hard she is hitting as a damage dealer in like the campaign or the Fire Knight, so at least you can get a feel for it. But then in terms of the booking process, I believe she takes 13. It's 4 plus 5 is 9 plus 4 is 13. So yeah, she takes 13 books. It's a little on the expensive side. I like them to keep it in between like 8 to 12. Even that can get pricey, but at 13, it's a little bit unfortunate, but she is a pretty solid champion in a new faction, so you don't have to feel bad about booking her, because she will definitely help you in completing the Shadowkin faction for sure. She's a very good faction wars champion. You definitely want the cooldowns on the A2 and the A3 if you want to save a little bit on the A1. Not the worst choice, but you do get a pretty significant buff to the chance to decrease turn meter on the A1, so it's not the worst thing in the world if you get bad RNG and you end up booking the A1. For Masteries, I did this one because it's fun. She does a lot of debuffs, and she's a high speed type champion, so cycling through abilities super fast with both Oppressor and Relentless I thought would be a fun little blend to try out. But there's other good choices. You can go with Eagle Eye, really get that accuracy up, and make sure you're getting value out of all the debuffs she places. I don't think going down the offense route is going to be great. She's not good in the clan boss, and she's not a damage dealer. You're probably going to want to go defense and support most of the time, but there are a few different routes you could go with the tier 6 bottom mastery. And remember when I said I would pull up some footage to show you something interesting about her? So the A1, it says attacks one enemy, and then it will attack the enemy with the highest turn meter, but it actually, there's sometimes where you can't even notice that. She just runs up and it just hits twice. Like you're like, whoa, I missed it. Like, what happened? I'll show you what I'm talking about here. If I pull up the Fire Knight footage, boom. Okay, watch right away. Keep an eye out, because here it comes. All right, and boom. So now Lady Kimi's gonna run up. The shield has 10 hits, and boom, it went from 9 to 8. It looked like one attack, but she ran up and she did hit it twice. We can confirm that because the shield went from 10 to 8. And then she brings a lot of value in the Fire Knight. She's going to be decreasing turn meter, decreasing speed, decreasing accuracy, and doing a lot of things for our allies as well. So I thought it'd be fun to show you this level. This is level 25 Fire Knight, and Lady Kimi kind of slot into my team just fine and was able to do level 25 of the Fire Knight within about 2.5 minutes, and she fit in just fine. I basically swapped out Stag Knight for her, and the team performed just fine end game Fire Knight. And what's kind of cool is they made the animations faster. Sometimes melee champions are a little bit unfortunate because their animations can be kind of slow, but with Lady Kimi, they definitely addressed that, which is a good direction for them to go in with melee champions. And you can really see that if I pull up a campaign run and just watch how crazy fast her animations are. Boom. And then watch when she goes melee. And right here, boom, look at that. Just in and out. So like doing away with some of those really slow attacks like Relic Keeper, Lord Shazar, running up, hitting, running back. She kind of like dashes. It's just poof, right there, in and out. So they are addressing the fact that that was a pretty significant knock on melee champions, was how they kind of slow down your runs because they are so clunky and diligent in getting off their melee abilities. They're addressing that. It looks like they have noticed that's a problem with some of the melee champs. So Lady Kimi, I love how she dashes in and out and doesn't suffer from the slow animations of most melee champions. And if you're going to use Lady Kimi in the arena, I think she makes the most sense on a little bit of a more sustained fight. I don't think she's going to be meta for like nuke teams where it's boost, debuff, and nuke down. I think it's going to be more of a prolonged defensive fight where you've got mechanics to survive, like a Duchess, a Torment, a high HP shield set, something that can help you get like a really good reviver, help you get into a sustained, prolonged situation. And then all the things Lady Kimi brings to the table in terms of buff strip and debuffs and turn meter manipulation and cycling through all these abilities with her high base speed, you can get a lot of value over the course of a longer term fight. So that's kind of the route that I would go in building her. And I think she's going to be decently used in like tag team arena. I think she could bring a lot to the table in a lot of fun arena composition setups, but you need an ability to survive. You see there, I needed the Duchess here to get me rolling, and then look at that, my Lady Kimi is able to get her ability off. And I think if you get in a situation like that where you've got a way to cope with what the enemy's going to throw at you first, maybe in a go second type team, I could see Lydia filling the flex spot because she brings a lot to the table. So now let's pull up the grades for her, and we'll go over this one by one together here. I anticipate her grades to be pretty generally good. She's just a generally useful champion. So arena offense, I'd probably go 4, and arena defense, I'd probably go 5. There'd be some fun setups where she can slot into more defensive teams. Campaign, she's good. She's just not like a speed farmer, so it'd be like a 4.5. I'll go 4. Faction War is definitely a 5. She's gonna be really good there. In the Spider, she brings a lot to the table and does a lot of different things. I'd probably go with like a 4 here. Spirit Keep and Magic Keep, she's actually going to be really good, so I'm going to go with 5. She brings a lot to the table in terms of buff manipulation. She can even do block buffs, and she's going to be affinity strong in both those situations. In the Spirit, she's going to be strong, and then in the Magic, she's going to be neutral, so we'll give her a 5 on both of those. In the Void Keep, she's fine. I can't... maybe like a 4. I don't see anything like super meta there. She'll help you progress in the Minotaur just fine. The Force Keep, she doesn't bring any defense down or anything, but she's pretty solid in like some of these boss fight scenarios, so I can give her like a 4 there. Then for Dragon, Fire Knight, and Ice Golem, with the Dragon, none of her turn meter stuff is gonna work, but she's pretty decent. I'll go 4. I think Fire Knight is honestly probably the best one because she can do the multi-hitter on the shield, and all the turn meter stuff and decreased speed is going to be really good, so I would go there. She doesn't have like a revive or anything for the Ice Golem, but she does bring a lot to the table, so again, it'd be like a 4.5 or a 5. I'll go with a 5 there, so you can see the grades are pretty generally decent for her. So okay, in conclusion here, I think they did a pretty good job in terms of designing Lady Kimi. She's very generally useful, very good kit on paper here, and I think she's going to be a really good progression champ who also helps out a lot in the Shadowkin Faction Wars when that launches. We still don't know when that's going to be, but Lady Kimi will definitely be solid in that scenario. She'll also help people progress in the Doom Tower, so even though she may not be like super god tier platinum arena like meta or something, there's not a whole lot of champions that are, but in terms of the game in general, I think Lady Kimi is definitely going to have a carved out role and be a lot of fun for people that have her. So I would give them like an A minus in terms of her design, and she's got a very solid kit just in general utility for people's accounts. So again, I'll pop up that infographic if you want to see that on the way out, but remember that is down below if you want to access that whenever you would like. So let me know down in the comment section what you think about Lady Kimi. I always enjoy reading your opinions as well. So that'll do it for me in this one. As always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.